Hello, and welcome to our webinar on POTS replacement. Today, we are going to be talking about the benefits of migrating your plain old telephone service copper landlines to a modern wireless solution. My name is Peter McKiernan. I'll be kicking things off today with a brief intro on POTS migration, and then I am going to hand things off to Michelle Murphy, our Director of Access Vendor Management and POTS migration expert, to talk a little bit about the POTS Fusion Connect POTS migration solution. And along the way, we're going to talk about a special offer that Fusion announced today that comes with some amazing technology at an amazing price. And will start saving you money even before you touch your copper landlines. So I'm going to foreshadow that a little bit. And we want this to be interactive. So if you look at the top of your toolbar, you should see something that looks like this here. And we have people backstage ready to answer your questions. If we don't get to your questions during the webinar today, we will follow up with you and make sure that you get an answer to those. Great. So real quick, if you're new to Fusion, I wanted to tell you about 3 things that make us different. The first is we are a full stack communications provider that's been in business for over 30 years. That means we've gone from telecom to cloud, and we can offer the entire suite of support and services that you need. And that's really important for POTS migration. So I'm going to come back to that in a couple slides. The other thing that makes us different is we are 100% US based. Our support, our delivery, everything we do is based inside the US. So when you need to call someone for support, you're talking to someone in your time zone. And one of the other big things that differentiates us is our industry leading guarantees. We are the only company out there with a 100% uptime and a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. And so we stand behind the things that we offer. So with that, let's talk a little bit about how we got here. Now, it's clear for a long time that the trend has been away from POTS lines ever since the introduction of voice over IP. But in 2019, there was one big milestone where the FCC changed the rules that the carriers that operated these POTS networks operated under. And since then, they've wanted to shift their investments away from their wire networks to their wireless networks. And so with this change, they were able to spend less investments into their POTS networks, and it changed the pricing rules. And so since then, you've seen these carriers reduce investment in, for example, they once had factories that made the wire cables that went down the street on telephone poles. 2 of the major carriers have shut those down. But you've also probably seen your costs skyrocket. So this data shows the magnitude of that increase. But really what's important is how the rate of change is changing. So if you see here on the left with this orange line, in the 10 years between 2009 and 2019, prices increased by 16%. Since then, in just the last 5 years, costs have nearly doubled to where now they're increasing at a rate of 31%. And that's only projected to get higher. So let's kick things off with a live poll. You should see something pop up here in the chat that says, how has the price of your POTS lines changed over the last year? Has it gone up? Has it gone up more than 10%? Stayed the same, decreased, or you're not sure? That's fine, we won't judge. Okay, we see some results coming in. All right, so it looks like for about half the audience, you've seen increases over 10%. And so, landlines are very important, especially in safety-related applications. But are they worth spending $300 or $400 a month on? We can help you with that. So let's get to that. So what is holding you back? Because POTS technology is old. VoIP has been here a long time. Why is it still around at all? Well, many organizations have moved most of their communications to VoIP, but there's a remaining 1% of applications that can be very challenging. Things like elevator emergency phones, security alarms, fax machines, fire alarm panels. These edge cases can be very difficult to migrate, and there's some unique aspects to them that relate to why that's true. So if you think about it, for a POTS migration process, you need to have expertise in IP networking, traditional Ethernet networks, telephony, all the different things that go into these communication standards and other things, working with fire alarm panels, which can be really unique on their own. You may need to work with a facilities manager or understand fire and building codes. And you need someone that can project manage all of that across all of your locations, which can be a full-time job. And so when we talk about the importance of Fusion having a full stack and being a full stack provider, this is where that becomes most important, is that we have expertise across all of these areas, and that's what makes our projects different. So another quick poll. We want to know, what are your biggest concerns about migrating off of your POTS lines? Is it technical? Is it compatibility, reliability? You're not sure where to start? Is it just the overall complexity that you're facing? A lack of internal resources? Or maybe it's just seen as something that's not broken, so why fix it? So I see some things coming in now. Give you guys another 30 seconds or so to answer. Okay, so it looks like most of the concerns are on the technical front, compatibility, reliability, compliance, but there's still a lot of folks that are just facing some really complex projects. And so hopefully we will be able to help you there as well. And we'll take this into account in the next section of our presentation. So thank you for those responses. I am now going to hand things off to Michelle Murphy, and she's going to give you more details on how we migrate you on the back end, and a little bit more about that offer that I teased earlier.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Michelle Murphy here. Just want to chat about our Fusion Connect POTS replacement solution. Dig into some of the details about what our solution can offer you. So our POTS replacement solution can offer you one simple package and one simple price. So we'll get into more detail shortly, but right out of the gate, we can offer some immediate savings. Even while we work through a very strategic POTS replacement migration plan, we can offer immediate savings right out of the gate. We're also offering, like Peter mentioned, end-to-end project management. So one contact to support from end to end, from start to finish through the POTS migration process. Our solution also offers an all-in-one device. So this is really top of the line replacement device that can support all of those complex solutions that Peter mentioned previously, like alarm lines, fax lines, security lines, elevator lines. Our solution also offers ongoing monitoring. So we have a customer-facing portal that can provide that proactive monitoring. And we, more importantly, for a lot of our customers, we can offer low price at a long-term rate. So what's included in our POTS replacement product? So the all-in-one device that we are utilizing, the on-premise equipment is included in the monthly price. It also has a integrated 24-hour battery, backup battery. It's actually 24-hour minimum, up to 48-hour backup battery is included. There is no shelf or bracket required. This device can actually mount directly to your wall. The other item that's important here is this device that we're utilizing, it will meet all of your compliance requirements, which is incredibly critical. We also offer redundant connectivity. So 2 different wireless carriers for redundancy is offered. We have a pooled data plan that's included as well, 1 gig per data per month. The device that we're utilizing also has 4 integrated wireless antennas. And the device can actually support a wired connection as well. So if you're not as comfortable using a wireless solution for POTS replacement, it can offer and support a hardwired line as well. Our solution also includes the implementation and monitoring. So again, dedicated project manager to manage your project. This solution and our POTS replacement implementation will include a site survey and an installation. So 2 visits to the site, up to 5 hours total, and then a monitoring portal for ongoing support. And as Peter mentioned previously, all of our support is US based. So post install, we have US based support, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So here is a little more details around our POTS replacement promo. And this is really right off fresh today. Our promo is being launched. Super exciting, a lot of cost savings again, right out of the gate. So we can migrate your POTS lines, your existing POTS lines to Fusion today at a low rate of $85 a month per line for the first 12 months. So you're locked into that low rate. We can work on a transition plan to then migrate your POTS lines over to our POTS replacement solution. And then you'll be able to save even more. So on the right-hand side, this is just a brief summary of our savings. So 1 line for POTS replacement is $85 a month. If you have 2 lines, it's $65 a month at a location. And then anything more than 3 lines, we are offering a very low rate of $45 a month per line. So how it works. So for today, the way our POTS pricing is continuing to go up, your rates today will, we're looking anywhere between $150 to $340 a month, depending on the location and the carrier of our POTS rates. Those rates are continuing to go up. We're seeing it in the business consistently. The first step to transfer our lines over to Fusion at $85 per month per line. That is right out of the gate. We can save you really up to 75% based on your current POTS rates. And then step 2, saving another 53% at $45 a line. And Fusion Connect is here to help. We have a 4-phased approach to our POTS replacement migration process. So phase 1 is our assessment phase. This is where you're assigned a dedicated project management. These people have experience. They've been doing this for quite a while. They will be working with you to answer some questions, do some data gathering, getting some more details gathered around your environment and any specific requirements that you have. Get some details around the lines, what they're being used for. Phase 2 is our design stage. So this is where we will design a solution that will meet your business needs. Phase 3 is our site survey. This is a coordinated site survey that we will have a tech on site visiting your location and really doing an inventory, checking all the lines, making sure we know exactly where those lines are going, what they're used for. And then we'll also mount the device and the equipment at that time of the site survey. And then we'll work on a scheduled activation. So the activation will also have a tech on site. We'll be working with one of our engineers in our office to make sure that the implementation goes as smoothly as possible and that all your lines, the testing is successful, all the lines are working as they should be. This is just our data spec sheet for the device that we're utilizing. So it gives you some specs on the size and the width and the height of the actual equipment that we're using. Just for comparison, there's also a coffee cup here so you can compare the size of our equipment. It's a fairly compact piece of equipment. It also, again, as mentioned previously, it does have that 24 to 48 hour integrated battery. So that's going to be huge. We also have the ability to just mount this equipment right to the wall. So again, you don't need any brackets or shelves or racks. Any additional equipment is not needed for this. This device can mount directly to your wall, and you can run cabling from any device, any of your locations right into the device. It also is capable 5G cellular, so it's not all the equipment that is out there today is compatible with 5G, but this device is. So it can support 2 wireless carriers as well for carrier diversity. And it's also, again, very important for those fire alarm lines and security panels. It is designated to meet all of your compliance and FPA requirements. So just a little blurb here about our device comparison. So some of the important pieces of our device and really what makes our device best in class. Our port has 8 ports, so it can hold and manage up to 8 lines. So those lines can be POTS lines, fire alarm lines, elevator lines, whatever they're used for. One device can support all of those. So there's 8 ports, which again, that's a huge win because a lot of the other devices in the industry, some of them only have 2 ports, some have 4 ports. Ours can manage up to 8 lines. There's also some requirement safety standards for IT equipment, and industrial control panel requirements are met as well. So those pass all the certifications, the device that we're utilizing. It's also compatible with LTE cellular, so 4G and the 5G network. As you can see, a lot of the other pieces of equipment in the industry, they're not 5G compatible. The device we're using is. Our internal battery up to 48 hours, and then it also is compatible with all of the major alarm panels out there. So we have some more details here, as well as analog modems. Here's just an overview of how our POTS replacement component, really how our product works. So your premise on the left-hand side here, this is all your legacy analog devices. Again, regular standard POTS lines, fax lines, elevator lines, fire alarm lines. Cabling is run directly into our POTS device, or POTS in a box device. This again comes with our remote monitoring. So we have that proactive monitoring that we'll be able to know if the device goes down, we'll know as soon as you know. And again, connected to a management portal that we'll have access to as well as customers. Again, it has the offer, we can offer 4G or 5G, depending on serviceability. And then again, if you did feel more comfortable with the wired broadband option, that's also an option. The device can support both. And then the services are actually connected back to our Fusion Connect VoIP services. Post-installation. So this is important. Once lines have already migrated to the POTS replacement, we have, again, our we monitor your device proactively. So we'll know the device status. We'll know if it's up or down. The portal will also give details around the DID, phone number, and assignment, as well as the SIP registration. So all of this information can be seen through the portal. We are also, again, 100% US based. We can support post-install 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all within the US. And as Peter mentioned previously, we do also offer those industry-leading guarantees. So 100% uptime, customer satisfaction, and on-time installation, all guaranteed. This is just a quick summary about why we moved our tech support onshore. So previously, we actually had our some of our support teams were offshore. We recently had moved them all onshore, and we've seen a huge increase in our overall net promoter scores. So we've seen a huge improvement there. Again, just want to reiterate all of our support, both throughout the implementation process and post-install support is all US based. We added here just a few success stories for some of our larger customers that have already migrated to POTS replacement. Some of the feedback that we're getting from really our largest customers, really getting rid of really saving thousands of dollars a month on POTS. So that's a huge win for a lot of our customers that still have a large number of POTS lines out there. Mentioning here that the implementation is quick and easy and the service is reliable. Also, just the depth of experience and expertise that made the implementation successful. So these are our dedicated project managers that really have a lot of experience with migrating to POTS replacement. Also, just mentioning here, Fusion Connect always puts the customer first. We take a very customer-obsessed approach at Fusion, and this can be seen really step by step through our POTS replacement solution. And just mentioning here how seamless the migration has gone for some of our large customers. So here are some of our POTS replacement pricing examples. So again, location 1, just breaking it down with our promo that is being launched today. Location 1 has 2 lines. If you have 2 lines at a location, it's $65 a month per line with 1 device. That total would be $130 a month. Location 2, you have 8 lines here, so that's $45 a month. So anything over 3 lines at a location is $45 a month with one device that can support all 8 lines. It's a $360 a month bill for all 8 pot signs. And then location 3, again, $45 a month, but because there is 12 lines and one device can support up to 8 lines, it will require 2 devices, but we're still looking at that $45 a month per line. There's no additional charge for additional equipment. So that total would be $540 a month.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. So that's the POTS offer that I was talking about, and I'm sure you can see that it is pretty compelling. That if we have some time, if you're interested in asking some questions through the Q&A button that I shared earlier, you can also go to our fusionconnect.com/offers/POTS-replacement page and get even more details on how this works and how we can start saving you money from the very first day of your project. Or feel free to reach out to your Fusion Connect account manager if you have one, or if you're working with a partner, they are a great place to get started as well. So I'm going to pause for a second and check the question queue and see if there's anything that we weren't able to get to. It does look like there was one question about whether or not there's an external antenna available for areas with poor reception. And yes, there is. That's available. It is an additional cost, however. And it looks like Santi dropped the link for that to that page in the chat itself. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If you are interested in getting started right away, we have tons of people on our POTS replacement teams that are ready to help. So we wish you the best with your project, whether or not you choose us. And we just really want to thank you for your time and your attention today. Oh, looks like we had another question come in and I missed it. Do you provide the 5G/LTE services? If so, which carriers do you use? Michelle, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yep. We can offer solutions wireless with Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile.
And I'm being told there's another one, but I don't see it. There was a question about whether or not our POTS replacement solution is available in Canada.
So
yeah,
yeah, Santi did add it in the chat as well. So we do offer the solution in Canada. We can provide POTS replacement in Canada. The promo itself is only in the US. So the pricing promo that we have is offered in the US, but we do have a POTS replacement option in Canada that we can offer. Again, just slightly different pricing tied to that. So the promo pricing we went over today is US only.
Awesome. One question I had, Michelle, is why the two-step process in the implementation process? Why do we do a site survey and then a second visit for activation?
Yeah, so it's really more to have a much more seamless transition to POTS replacement. So the site survey is not only just mounting the equipment, making sure that the wireless signal is strong. We can monitor that for a couple days before we migrate to POTS replacement, but it's also just making sure that we know where all these POTS lines are located, where they're coming in, what they're being used for. It just gives us another step to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible through the implementation process.
There is another question to Q&A. In order for you to see it, you have to collapse the original question from Jason. So if you collapse it, you'll be able to scroll up. There's one from Billy Fisher and there's one from Doug.
Why don't you read those to us, Santi?
I can do that. So Billy wants to know, how well does multiple pieces of equipment work together, if needed, of course?
Michelle, you're definitely going to have to take that one.
Yeah. So Billy, do you mean like the security alarm lines, elevator lines? Is that? I just want to make sure I understand the question.
And while we wait for Billy to respond,
would that be a situation where you have like 12 lines at a location and you need 2 devices?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the question. Yeah. I just need to understand that a little better. But yes, I mean, okay. One device can support all of those specialized lines. Again, anything over 8 lines, we will need a secondary device installed. But we'd be able to support a standard voice line, a fax line, elevator line, all on one device.
And do
So
those
Bi-
devices, if you have two devices at a location, do they need to connect to each other at all, or are they independent?
Yep, they typically they'll be mounted together unless there's a need for it to be in two different locations. Sometimes there's multiple telco closets, in which case they'd be mounted in different locations in the building.
Okay.
And Billy did confirm yes to both scenarios, so thank you. The next question we have is from Doug Holiday. He says, I'm looking to replace a T1 that supplies lines to a standard modem pool and an X25 modem pool. Do you have a solution that would support this?
Yeah, I would, Santi, I would suggest we get one of our solution engineers involved in that discussion. There's probably some more follow-up questions that we'd have to ask on what the T1 is being utilized for, but I'm sure that we have a solution that can support that need for sure.
Yeah. So Doug, we have your email. We should be able to reach out to you with one of our engineers to get you some clarity on that question. Thank you for that. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A.
Okay. Well, we are at the bottom of the hour and we want to respect people's time. So again, thank you all. Feel free to reach out to us if you have more questions or if you would like for us to reach out to you, we can do that as well. Again, best of luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.